Cumulative timeout.
Wait for a minute.
So I was going to create a
we're
group
live.
for all of us retired parents who used to watch. We went to the game on Sunday, the little popcorn. I was going to call it for like aunties for athletics and or grannies for games or something. So we can just travel
All right,
around
thank
and watch
you.
the littles.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. I see we have quite an audience today. I think our young people are trying to get the first or second meeting out of the way, right, for class? So thank you for joining us. We will get started, 6:02. Okay.
Miss Jennifer Haggerty.
Here.
Miss Stacy Hoberg.
Here.
Mr. Marquis James. Mr. Peter Manella.
Here.
Mr. James Preston. Absent. Okay, so we do have a quorum.
I just need a motion to approve the minutes for the Board of Ed meeting from August 28th, 2024.
We'll just tag team them. I'll motion.
Stacy? On motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excuse me. Hello? Hello?
Tell me you can come later.
You might be locked out. This is getting even better.
Will you run to the door and try to let
Shaylin, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is getting
Sheila.
better. Sorry,
Bounce
people. We're
back.
usually a lot more organized
do
than
minutes.
this. We're just having a moment
Bounce back.
today, so
Thank you.
it happens once in a while. Do we have anything for communications, Board of Ed items, consideration items, or assignment action items? Nothing anybody wants to bring up?
Unless anyone wants to
No,
bring
we're
something
good.
up.
Okay, we're gonna go straight into reports. So we have some seniors in the class, of the class that I think are here to present some ideas to us.
Good evening, I'm Emily Carey,
Aliana Plow.
and on behalf of the senior class, we are proposing the senior bathroom. So why do we want a separate bathroom?
Less people using a bathroom means less likely to waste time waiting in line. It's more quick and efficient to have our own bathroom because we don't have to sign in or sign out. We just get straight to it and straight back. And it's another level of maturity being able to go to the bathroom without supervision.
True.
Sorry.
The rules.
So the rules for the senior bathroom is we will keep it clean and report any issues to Ms. Frasco. If any underclassmen are seen, we will again report it to Ms. Frasco. The vape detectors will help deter the vaping, and we will use an e-hall pass to use the bathroom. If more than one,
We did.
ignore the last one, we deleted it, but I guess this one's, yeah.
Who's moving?
Oh.
Control.
And the consequences,
If we fail to meet these rules, we accept the consequence of our privileges being removed. We will return to using the regular bathrooms and signing in and signing out. And not having this privilege until we're trusted again. Yeah. Any questions about the bathroom?
Where is the bathroom?
Thank
The bathroom is on the first floor down this hallway.
Who uses it now?
Nobody.
one classroom of Questar, I think,
Yeah.
is right there that uses it.
Yeah.
Will they be separate from the Questar kids, or just
No.
be our bathroom, or what will be
No, they both use it when we switch to that. When we open it up for senior bathroom, Questar will continue to use it.
the? Okay.
They probably have, 6 or 8 kids in the room there, and their aide has a key for
Mary
it.
has a key. Okay. I like my own bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the first time this has been presented to us, actually, I've been here several years, so. Good
We
job.
had this back in 2010.
Those are ancient times. We're gonna talk about that.
And now we have the senior lounge.
Wish we had this in 2010.
So why do we want the senior lounge?
It gives the seniors another place to go for study halls, early dismissal, and late arrival. It will be a quiet place for us to work if any of these places are crowded, loud, or distracting. It will give us this place to socialize with other seniors, as it's our last year as high school students. Rules.
We will keep the lounge clean and organized. We also request we have a broom and Clorox wipes to clean up after ourselves and not leave all of it to the janitors. Any safety concerns, there is a camera and Mr. Faust does watch it. We will keep a volume to a minimum, and if we're asked to quiet down, we'll quiet down. We can implement a sign-in or sign-out sheet if needed. An e-hall pass will be needed if you're not there, like, if you're not already, like, present in school, technically. Students assigned to the lounge will stay, so you cannot, like, just roam, like, leave and come back whenever you need a pass. And you cannot eat in the lounge because the mezzanine is open for that, like a snack or something, but not lunchtime.
Yeah, you can't take lunches in from the lunchroom. That's just a mess anyways, and if it doesn't get cleaned up right, then there's gonna be mold and there's gonna be problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And students not in good standard grades, attendance, or discipline will not be allowed in the lounge until that is resolved.
How do you know that?
Because we have a banning system, so for our mezzanine, we have the list of rules, and then we have a contract that says, I've read the rules, if I don't comply with the rules, I'll be banned. And then we have a ban sheet, so the students that aren't complying are on the ban sheet.
Okay.
And the consequences.
If we fail to meet these standards, we accept any consequences that may happen, such as the closure of the lounge and other privileges being revoked. Students caught breaking these rules will be banned from the lounge. Depending on the severity of their problems, they won't be back for the year.
And you can skip the next slide because we deleted it.
Yeah,
They can put it on, so this was a request by them that
this is
we have
a
tabled.
really big ask, and we know it's not gonna happen right away. But we're gonna ask now, so
It's
you guys,
also a work in progress with everything.
and so you have time to think about it when it's put out.
Yeah, the yonder pouches are new.
Is
so
this the
it's
attempt to
a
get the
lot of-
phones in school?
Yeah, in the lounge.
In the lounge.
So that would involve another unit.
They
I
presented to
assume.
all of us earlier, so Mr. Kardash, me, Mr. Martinelli, I think Mr. Faust and Officer Rohr also. So did a nice job, and then when we got to this part, we're like, yeah, we're gonna table
maybe.
that part.
Gives you something to work for.
Better hold
Peter,
firm
just
on
to
that.
follow up with your question too, Mrs. Faust does a ineligibility list that goes to all the teachers. So if somebody's a senior on that ineligibility list, then if somebody has them for study hall, they won't allow them to go down to the senior lounge.
Yes, that's a lot for the students to have to police each other.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was.
Yeah.
How many people can go in the lounge at one time?
It depends, because we don't really have like a set number.
Well,
We're never-
Right.
We don't expect the whole grade to go in there at
Yeah.
once.
Maybe like, I think at max would probably be 15 people at once.
Like 10.
I don't think there could be more than that.
Yeah, we allow them to go, it's not really a place to go
How
from
many-
classes. or
How
from
many
study hall.
people are even in our grade right now? Because a lot are at both tech or a lot are,
And then they would have to be
They
a
are
lunch
busy as
period,
well.
their study hall period, or another free period of some
Yeah.
sort. They can't, and scheduling would have to factor into that.
so.
I'm definitely rooting for you
It's not a
guys.
free
I was
for all.
a senior once, so I know a few loopholes, but I'm rooting for you guys.
You don't say those things. Mike.
We know.
Luckily, Mr. Pitt was just a teacher back then.
Thank you for your consideration. Bye.
This does not require board action, but it is part of our advocacy for students. We want
Were
them
there
to
any questions about the
advocate.
lounge?
I think you need a lobbyist.
Now we're stepping it up, Peter.
I want to see a petition next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Nice job.
So, hi, I'm filling in now. Moving on, Megan?
Thank you, Stacy. So I just wanted to mention a few things before we get to our presentation. So you guys have the June 30, 2024 budget status report. You will be hearing from the financial statement external auditors next meeting to discuss the reporting out as of June 30th, 2024. So more to come on that. You also have the August 31st budget status report. And you'll notice that there's some negatives in the instructional salary lines. And that's because we still don't have approval on 99% of our grants. So you'll see negatives in those salary lines probably till about December or so. Once those grants are approved, then we can start recoding and funding in the special aid fund for those grants. The other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is our charter school enrollment continues to go up. So we are, as of the date of this report, September 12th, we are up 10 compared to last year. So that's 68 students. So you're also going to see a negative in that line. That's on page 6 of the budget status report, because we're now over encumbered because we budgeted based on last year's enrollment with the new tuition for 24-25, and we've exceeded that.
Just a question, how much is there's like a per student hit?
$11,630 per student that attends charter school per year. Any other questions on that before I move on? So, as I mentioned, the exterior system, wall system, and the roof construction project is going to be a major topic on every board meeting for quite a while. So I wanted to update you. I gave you a brief introduction to the construction management / owner's representative status last month. This month, I wanted to let you know that we have received 4 proposals for services for construction management. I have been reviewing all of the proposals and going through the analysis of those. Tomorrow, the facilities manager and I will be interviewing 3 out of the 4, and then Friday, we will interview the 4th for those proposers. We do plan on moving on that next week. So we want to move quickly at this point. Now that we have the proposals and now that we'll have the interviews, we want to make a decision and move on that so that we can start drafting up a contract and negotiating that and finalizing that. And one thing I did want to note was that all 4 of the contractors that submitted a proposal did do a site walkthrough. When I offered an optional site walkthrough in early September, all 4 of them did attend and stayed for the duration, which was almost 2 hours for the site walkthrough. And that's it for me. So next I'm going to turn it over to BCA and Fiscal Advisors. We have Max Bender and Scott Jewell here from BCA. They're going to talk more about the scope of this project, the design, cost breakdown, and then Ben Maslona from Fiscal Advisors is going to talk about financing the project. So gentlemen, if you want to step to the front of the room and do your presentation, that would be wonderful.
Spinny chairs. Swivel out.
It's good for your core.
Wheels.
Yeah, wheels or something. Just,
Can you put that in the project?
sure, right? I'm sure there's somewhere we can put it up in the front.
All right. Well, good evening. It's nice to be in front of you all and have a chance to talk about this. We've been working with Megan and Teresa talking about this now for several months. Quite a long time, actually.
3 years.
Yeah, 36 months, but it's been a while. So if we go to the next slide, we wanted to just talk about why is the district considering doing a capital project at this time. There's really multiple components, but the building condition survey was done in 2023, and Max and our team did a lot of that, did that walkthrough. And in addition to that, we also had 2 independent studies on the roof and wall issues with Garland Company and also Paul Carr Associates. And out of those studies and the walkthroughs, we've identified what were the most critical items to be looking at in a capital project. Ben from Fiscal is going to be talking about the financial timing of it and why it's a good time now to do it. And we want to talk about the long-term solutions that we would like to do as part of this project. So what was highlighted in the building condition survey was obviously you have issues with your EIFS wall system, your extruded insulation system. There have been many issues that we found with the construction of that, the original construction of that has allowed water infiltration into that system. And it's caused over time that system to start to break down and to fail. there's also, along with that, roofing issues. So obviously, water travels down. There's how the roof edge and the EFIS system connect. There have been many problems identified with that. Also, the roof itself is past its warranty now, or will be out of warranty. Those are the major issues, because that's the envelope of your building. And if the envelope is failing, then it's just a matter of time before other things start failing. So those were identified as the two major critical items, along with also some sidewalk issues that you have. You know, right as you walk in the front entrance, you've got them painted in orange. You know, you've got some sidewalk that has heaved, frost, things like that. So we want to look at dealing with the sidewalk issues as well. And we put together costs for those, and we also, there was a whole laundry list of items on the BCS, but these really rose to the top priority one level to look at. So we can go right past this. So we put together an estimate of construction for these items. Now, one of the things I want to talk about too is because you're hiring your CM, hopefully in the next week or so, we would love to have the CM get on board and review all of these numbers and make sure they are in agreement with these numbers, or we come to an agreement on the numbers. Because this is obviously our best estimate on this, but construction managers can bring in the local knowledge of the local contractors and the costs in this area, and we like to dovetail all that together. It's a really great thing to do, to have that number solidified before you go to referendum. So the numbers that I'm showing you tonight may change some. I just want to give you that caveat. You know, the wall system itself, the demolition and the new wall panels, we're going to go back with a new metal panel system, just like we're trying to do right now at the stairs. That's a test to see what this is going to look like. But we want to go back with the wall panel system. And so for the demo, the new panels, and the installation of that, you're looking at approximately 7.6 or so million in construction. And that's reskinning the entire facade, all the way down to the ground level. So it's removing the bricks as well. We've put in an allowance for window and blocking remediation, and what do we mean by that? When they pull that EFIS system off, we may have damaged wood blocking around the windows. If it's gotten water in it and we've got some wood that's rotting, we want to be able to replace that, because obviously we don't want to put a new system over top of something that is wet. So, but we don't know what we're going to find there, so we want to have an allowance for that. Also, to redo the entire roof, and this price that we're showing here of 7.59, that's to replace the roof right down to the deck, new insulation, everything. We may not need to do that. We could possibly, what we'd like to do is do an infrared scan of the building, of the roof, and see if we have any water in the roofing system. And depending we probably do, I'm sure there's water in the roofing system. The question is how much do we have? If it's under 25 or 30%, then sometimes what we can do is recover and recoat the roof as opposed to replace it all the way down to the deck. And that will save money. So, but we don't know that right now. That study has not been done, so we wanted to put the worst case scenario in there for the budget number. We also put an allowance in there to remove and reinstall the solar panels that you currently have on your roof. That's a little bit of an unknown at this time. We have to do a little more research on that. Talking with Megan about that, you do have a company that is put those on, and we're not sure that they have that in their contract to remove and reinstall. We're chasing that down, so we don't think that they do right now.
Well, it's a purchasing power agreement, so it would be in there for the installation, for the removal and the reinstallation. The only problem is they have to actually give us a quote. They actually were here the other day.
Okay.
So I had been communicating with the solar panel company, Sunlight General, and they asked for some information. I gave them what they needed. They did have some people here. They're based in New Jersey, so they were here the other day. So hopefully that's one step further to getting a better cost estimate on that.
Right, so that number could go up or down based on what we,
I'm hoping it's
hopefully
going
not up,
down.
I'm hoping it's
Yeah.
going down, right? Right, but we wanted to put that in there as an allowance. And then we had estimated $200,000 to do repair work to the sidewalks as part of the building condition survey. So the base construction cost right now, and obviously there's flux in these numbers, as I just talked about, is around 16.9. Next slide.
Could I just,
Yep.
you want questions?
Yeah, well, sure, anytime.
I've
Yeah.
read this a few times,
Yep.
new questions keep popping up,
Yep.
I apologize, or I don't. When it says the brick wall systems, are you talking like the main, like the interior walls are
No,
gonna take out of the
just
another?
the exterior face.
Okay, the
Yes.
bricks, that's
Yes,
all-
the bricks,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, and two, how much of a solar farm do we have, panels do we have?
If you scroll back a couple of slides, you'll see the roof picture. You can see
Oh,
there's
okay.
quite a few panels on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that speaks to
Covers
Are we
quite a bit.
1,000's a bargain.
Yeah.
Are we on contract for that, or can we shop that? Yeah.
In addition to I just kind of want to bounce off Peter here, because he mentioned the bricks. Is there a reason that you'd have to demo all the way down to the ground and not, because I mean, the fascia of the building is kind of two parts. You have the brick and then whatever those EIFs are.
Right.
Is there a reason that you have to go all the way down to the ground, or could you just demo? Because I know a lot of the concern has been the top panels, because that's where the physical, visual damage is.
Right.
Is it demoing just to make sure that there is no damage behind those bricks all the way down to the ground? Or is it just because of the way the building was built and they're just fused together at this point?
Really, it's to understand what damage we might have behind those brick right now, because we did see that when we did the test, that, the water, once it got behind the wall system, it went, obviously it's going to go down and it's going to go all the way to grade. And the other thing is partly aesthetics as well, is to try to make the building look cohesive. And if you have, every time you change materials, if you bring, this new metal panel system and then it's sitting on top of the brick, that's another chance for, issues. To have a new system from roof to grade really is probably the best option in our opinion. To give you
I agree, okay.
And
I
actually,
just
Dave,
mentioned
too, you can actually see damage in the brick. If you
Can you?
look, you can see what's called efflorescence coming through the brick,
Ooh, we got
which
some
is like
crystals growing out of them?
which is like that white material that you see.
Okay.
And also, the drainage is not correct.
Well, yeah, I mean, just like he said, it's gonna find, the water will find a way.
Exactly.
Concrete is porous, so brick is porous, so.
When you walk along the backside of the building, there are no weeps in the brick at all, so, and there may have been at one time, but we wondered if the sidewalk maybe had been poured up and covered those, so there's no way for that water to escape right now.
I'm glad we went to this slide before my next question, because I was going to ask if you accounted for a change in prices.
Yeah, so we've got another, we put contractor overhead and profit on here, and also cost escalation to 2026, because obviously, we've seen a lot of cost escalation over the last few years. So we wanted to put some factors in that. So that would get your price to about just under 21.4. Now, we always put a construction contingency in at 10%. State Education Department recommends that on any capital project to deal with unforeseen conditions, things that you run into. So we put it in there. And then the incidental costs, SED has a formula that they use 20% for elementary schools and 25% for secondary schools. So we just split this and did 22.5%. So it's just a percentage that we put in there. So in total, it comes to 28.811 right now. Now, obviously, between now and the next meeting in October, where we want to finalize the number, we've got a lot to do. We want to meet with your construction administrator. We want to go through all of these numbers, make sure that we're comfortable with them, and make any adjustments that are necessary, so that when we come to you in mid-October, we've got a number that we're all confident in. But this is the number we're confident in as of September 18th. So, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ben to talk a little bit about the financing of the project.
Thanks. Again, my name is Ben from Fiscal Advisors. Generally, this is the time when most people run out the door because they don't really want to hear about the financing piece of it, but that's where I come in. So how are we going to pay for this project? And our role will be kind of twofold. Number one is when it's time to borrow money, and finance the project, let's do it at the lowest interest rate possible, right? Borrow at the cheapest cost. And part two is maximize the building aid. So the district is eligible for a significant portion of the project to come back in the form of state building aid. We want to make sure we maximize that revenue. See, I told you.
That's where we all need.
Even the computer didn't want it.
We cut that slide so we could pay for the project. Smart.
I don't know where else you can pull this from, but it's embedded in my report.
Yeah.
And it's all in addition to the link with Shaylin.
Now, while I pulls that up, does fiscal advisors help apply for various grants in addition to getting money from state aid?
If there are grants available, yes. The bottom line is for most school construction projects, and you'll see my first bullet here, 85.7% is the building aid ratio. So that is, 85.7% of the project, if it's aid eligible, will come back to the district form of state building aid. There's not many other programs out there that can match that percentage. So again, we want to maximize that percentage. Now, it's important to know that the 85.7% does not come to the district in a lump sum. This would be a reconstruction project, so the aid will come back over a 15-year period. And they do pay you building aid based on principal and interest payments. Based on the current scope of the project, we estimate that 100% of the project would be eligible for aid. I never assume 100%. That's dangerous. It's always, the state will always find something that they do not want to pay for. So for this project, 98% of the project we assume qualifies for building aid. One of the things we also look at is what's called a maximum cost allowance. Every instructional building in the district, in this case one building, has a construction maximum and an incidental maximum. The construction maximum represents what you can spend on windows, doors, roofs, construction within a 5-year period and receive 85.7% back. So you could conceivably spend $57 million on a reconstruction project and get your 85.7% back. The incidental maximum represents all your soft costs and site work, fields, stadiums, parking, etc. That maximum is 13.5. Again, you can spend that within a 5-year period and get that money back. The reason I bring this up is just because our project that we're contemplating here, well below those limitations. So we're within those maximums. The district has also been diligent in setting aside capital reserve monies of $3 million, so we have that to apply. There's also Excel aid, and I believe this was 2007 when it first came out, but it is a certain aid that's eligible for districts, I guess to your point, under other funding sources, that you can apply to the project and it reduces the amount you have to borrow. So both the capital reserve and the Excel aid would reduce the amount to borrow. And then this project, as Scott alluded to, is going to phase in as your current debt service for a past project phases out, so it's good timing. There's a lot of numbers on this screen. I'll try to make as quick and easy sense of them as possible. 3 columns on this page, the district's total debt service, estimated building aid, and then net local share. So the highlighted row represents your current fiscal year, about $4.9 million of debt service, $2.2 million of building aid, and the net is 2.7. What does that net represent? That represents what is in the tax levy right now to support capital expenditures. And what we wanted to do when we proposed the financing of this project, we want stability in that number. We don't want it to go up, that represents a tax increase. We don't want it to go down, that represents something bad for the tax cap. So we want it to be stable. You'll also see in 2 years, which is the 26-27 fiscal year, that local share goes down to about 2.3 million. To me, when that number goes down, it represents opportunity to layer in a new project without levying additional taxes. Okay. So now what we did is we did the same scenario as the prior slide, but I also introduced 2 new columns. This would be a proposed or estimated debt service for the proposed project. Here's the estimated building aid for the proposed project at 85.7%, 98% aid eligible. Basically, if you add the total debt service columns to the total building aid columns, we have stability. So we're able to maintain roughly $2.73 million of tax levy effort to get the work done, layer it in with all your existing capital projects, and we can go to the taxpayers and realistically say that this project will not increase your taxes. I see numbers very clearly. Some people see it graphically, so I did put together another slide just to kind of show you what it looks like visually. So the orange or yellow, depending on your level of color blindness like me, is represented right here. That's the tax levy. Tax levy maintains stability, maintains neutrality throughout the duration of the project until 2036-37. The blue represents your debt payments. There's volatility there, right? We're adding in a new project, your debt's gonna go up, but correspondingly, the revenue or the building aid to offset that debt service also goes up. Bottom line is, the levy allowed to support capital expenditures at the district will remain level for no tax increase.
Ben, if I can interject,
Sure.
just to give the board members a little point of reference. So every February, I give you guys the long-range financial plan and the tax cap projections. And in that tax cap projection, I've been talking about it for a few years, in 26-27, we go into that red and where there's a big negative, which is what we don't want. So what Ben is referencing is adding the debt at a time when it will make it cost neutral for the taxpayers. So we've been talking about this for a couple of years, and now the time has come. So for that 26-27, we will be prepared for that.
This is just the last slide to kind of more visually show the revenue sources. Again, we have the state building aid, your capital reserve, Excel aid, and then your expiring debt service. Just to note as well, I always like to mention, again, this does not come back in one shot to the district, so we will be financing the project over 15 years. State aid reimbursements comes back over the same 15-year period, but the resulting is a no tax increase project.
So passing the baton of debt. And passing the baton of debt just keeps going straight.
And I like to say, you know, it's like your car payment falls off and you go out and get a new car and keep the payment roughly the same. It is, absolutely. In the state, I'm sorry?
I was gonna say, a question more for Megan. Now, would this be funded on our side through just the capital reserve, or is this gonna happen with other tax funds?
No other tax funds.
Yeah.
But when the proposition is laid out to the residents, it will say on there that you have a $28,811,000 capital project, $3 million of capital reserve, the ability to finance $25,811,000. And I should mention as well, this is something that is, regardless of how a project is funded and whether it's tax neutral or not, on proposition language, it will say that the residents would authorize the ability to levy a tax should one be needed. We know that one will not be needed for this, but legally it must be in there. I'm not an attorney, but your bond counsel would be able to advise on the rationale behind that. But I just wanted to mention that.
I only ask for, in terms of, if something else were to come along the way, you know, you say no tax levy for the course of the 15 years for this project, but 15 years is a long time. A lot of things could happen in the school district where we do need to pay for something else.
Absolutely.
Well, if you remember too, in May, the taxpayers authorized the capital reserve. So that is also the intent of that capital reserve. So now we have $3 million in the capital reserve that fortunately we can put towards this project. We will continue year after year to put funds aside as best we can to fund that, so we can pay for those major repairs.
I just want to make sure we have a rainy day fund still.
Yes, 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 absolutely.
More specifically, this will deplete it, and we have a plan to rebuild it so that we have one. Yes. Megan always has a long-term plan.
It depletes the capital reserve, it does not deplete all of our
Yes.
savings and fund
That's
balance.
what I'm saying. This was only just capital funds.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Capital
Yes.
reserve, not
Yes.
the rest of our.
Not
money.
everything, yeah.
All right, just to finish up, just to give you a little quick overview of schedule and what timing looks like if we go forward with this. This is a document I'd just like to show. This shows, so from the beginning of a capital project all the way to the end of a capital project. there's multiple phases along the way, and we'll be talking about these as we go through the project, but I wanted to just, it's something to start to get into your mind. We're in the pre-ref stage now, so we're trying to figure out, get the voters to authorize this, and once that vote happens, then there's a design stage, and we call it schematic design, design development, construction documents. It goes to the state for review, then it goes to bidding, you award contracts, you have the construction period, and then you reach your completion goal, and then there's a break-in period, and then the cycle may start again if you have other things that you want to accomplish, 4 years from now. But this cycle can take, depending on the project, can take multiple years, and I wanted to just give you a sense of that on the next slides. And this is the pre-rep piece I'll show you too. There's pieces to the pre-rep, and we've gone through a lot of these already. We've talked about your needs and goals, and we did the building condition survey. We've confirmed that pricing, and we've defined what we think are the priority 1 items that need to be dealt with. The next couple of steps that are critical are preparing and approving the seeker process, and then also setting the referendum amount. And obviously between now and that date, we want to confirm all that pricing with your construction manager.
Scott, can you explain the secret a little bit? Just go over that.
Are we going to be the authority on that?
Sorry.
Are we going to be the authority on that? Are we
You are. You are. The district is the authority.
In
on
October, you're going to be approving a lot of that, yes.
Yeah, so so seeker has various levels that you can go through. This project, because you're basically doing ordinary expenses to the district, you're working on the building itself and on the site, that would be considered a type 2 action. And so really, there's no special things that need to happen with that. So if you were putting an addition on the building, then there's other steps that you have to go through.
Changing the footprint.
Exactly, exactly. So those will be the things we'll be coming to you in October to talk about. If we go to the next slide, this just gives you sort of the big picture schedule. We're in this pre-ref phase, and as I said, we're meeting right now on the 18th to sort of go over this with you. We'll do the seeker and authorize the bond resolution on the October meeting. The public referendum that we're shooting for right now would be December 10th, and there are timeframes on that. So that notice of proposition posted in your local newspaper, that's a key date. It has to be in no later than that. There's a 49 to 45 day window that you have to meet. Hopefully the public approves the project on December 10th, and then we'll really get into the design phase of it from January to June roughly. We'll submit it to SED, and then right now SED is running at about 6 months for the review process. Hopefully that will speed up a little bit, but we're putting in the 6-month process right now. And hopefully around Christmas time of 2025, we would have SED approval. The next slide says then we could bid the project in January or February, which is a great time to bid the project, get it lined up for the summer, award the bids in the spring of 2026, and then start construction in the spring or summer of 2026. Those exact dates of construction we need to work out with your construction manager. If you go to the next slide, and we said the construction phase, we're anticipating that this would be basically about a year and 15 months or so construction schedule. The exact phasing of that and how it all gets done, it's a little early for that yet. We have to meet with the construction managers. That's really their forte, is to put the schedule together. But we would be anticipating closing out the project in fall of 2027. So it's a 3-year process from tonight till the project is complete. And that's our presentation for tonight. So, any questions?
Yeah, having lived through East Greenbush rebuild of Columbia, where my daughter was over there, how much disruption is there in the building for the kids?
In this project, I think it'll be minimal because it's all on the outside of the building. And roofing, we would probably try to do over the summer months, and as much of the exterior as we can over those 2 periods of summer. It really needs to be determined if we can do work around the building during the school year. That we have to talk about. It might be possible to do that, but obviously we don't want to disrupt classes. That's the last thing we want to do. So that still needs to be worked out.
Peter, there's been initial talks to potentially, and this is something that I'll be talking about with the construction managers tomorrow and Friday too, is almost like a second shift on a 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. kind of second shift during the school year, maybe from September to December.
Right.
Seeing if that is a possibility.
When the weather's good, yeah.
Having lived through the stair tower demolition, it's extremely loud. It's extremely loud. The glue that is stuck to the substrate is, it takes a lot of energy and very noisy tools to get off. So it's gonna be part of the conversation, but we're gonna, maybe the brick is something that we talk about during school hours. That's part of the scheduling and the design and the plan and the phases.
But you are right. The second
Hopefully we can do
shift,
some of it.
second shift you very well might be able to do in the good, in the fall and in the spring.
Exactly.
Obviously midwinter, we're not gonna wanna be doing that. But
Yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate your time.
You're still on, right? Oh, it's stuck. Yes.
Megan,
That was 15 minutes.
just as a board member, I wanted to publicly thank Megan and Teresa who took time to walk me around.
Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that.
I thought I knew a lot, and then I learned that I didn't know buckets, so. But thank you for taking the
Thank you
time.
for
It was our
teaching
pleasure.
Peter Buckus.
Thank you.
Peter Buckets, that's not your last name.
Peter Buckus, thank you. Thanks, guys.
See you, nice job. Thank you.
But I don't see a Trisha. Do I? Oh. Sorry, I'm not used to being here. We're gonna go to. Okay, oh, what are we doing? I'm sorry, we're actually skipping around and going to Alumni Association. Okay. I just fixed it on my copy.
And then you try to move it, buses around.
It was correct.
Well, you know what I was expecting? I was thinking.
Smarter people than me.
Yeah. People that get.
Yeah, thank you.
This is fun. Hi, I'm Tracy Stock. I'm the Vice President of the Alumni Association, and Liz Rooney is the treasurer. She's here with me tonight. So we were last here in April, and we came to give you an update on what we've been up to since then. In May, we sponsored the senior breakfast on the day of the prom, so we'll be doing that again for your seniors, right?
Yeah.
We'll be doing that again for you guys on the day of your prom. We've done some outings. We went to the Valley Cats, and we put that out there for anybody, even the school. Anyone in the school could go. We get a group of tickets, and we go. We're gonna pick a more adult theme next year, like maybe Irish night or something like that, so kid themes. For graduation, for the seniors, we gave out 3 awards, and then helped with one that kind of got dropped without anyone's knowledge this year, so we helped out with that one too. We've had tables set up at the music behind the firehouse at the National Night Out, and we did the farmer's market to give people information on what the Alumni Association does. A couple of them, we had the cutout board that Tessa Kent built for us. Big hit. It was a big hit, especially National Night Out. A guy had his cockatoo, and he put the cockatoo in the board to get the picture taken, so that was a huge hit. We've taken some trips. We did a day trip to Cooperstown. Some members went to the racetrack. We did a dinner theater in Lake George. I'm skipping around and kind of condensing for you. And then we updated the cases in the hall, and we put the new brochures there and membership forms. If anybody wants to join, we'd love to have you. And Denise just added in one of the original plates of the first edition of the Rambler from December of 1963. She framed it and she just put it in the other day. So it was a very nice donation that we got from Mike Garagosian, because I guess his father was the one that printed it for them back in the day. So she can only fit one in there, so she couldn't get both of them in there. First weekend, on the 8th.
Yes.
On September 8th, we had an all-class reunion at Skodak Town Park. We had 35 alumni come. We got the hot dogs and rolls and the drinks, and then the alumni brought dishes. So it was a really good, nice day. Had games and stuff, and that worked out well. So our project for the fall is to buy and donate a monument for the citizens of Rensselaer that served the country. And we would like to put it out here by the flagpole so that it can be used during the Veterans Day ceremony that the elementary school does, right? Yes. So we're in the process of that. We had a meeting last Tuesday and we approved the cost of it. It's gonna be a 2-foot by 2-foot by 2-foot blue stone, which is dark gray, which is a little bit bigger than this. This is the 18 by 18 inch, which will be the size of the bronze plaque that goes on it. And there'll be 2 flags on the top of the bronze plaque, and it will say, "In honor of and gratitude for the City of Rensselaer residents who served our country in times of war and peace to preserve freedom for all, gifted in 2024 by the Alumni Association of the Rensselaer, New York School District." They tell me it doesn't need a base, but we'll work with Joe and maintenance to figure out where to put it out there, but we were thinking close to the flagpole, I believe. And then we can, because last year we did the Wreath Across America, but some members felt that, we don't know whose graves they're going on, and they may not be going on alumni graves. So this way we have a place now to put a wreath at Christmas time to honor them or throughout and do things. And I spoke with the woman today, and she said, "We know you want it for Veterans Day, and we'll try to rush it, but I can't guarantee it's gonna be there by Veterans Day this year." So, anybody have any questions?
Thank you for all you guys do.
Absolutely.
You're always looking out for the school. You give us money for opportunities for kids. I'm sure not everyone in this room understands the work that goes behind what the Alumni Association does. You were critical to us when we didn't have sports. It's just a wonderful organization, so just thank you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
And
We
for the-
enjoy doing it.
For the board, at the time that they actually give it to us, we will have to accept the donation. But until then, there's not a donation to accept.
I did have a question. The monument you're talking about, you said for residents of the city or people who graduated from Rensselaer? I didn't hear.
The City of Rensselaer residents.
Okay.
We're doing it for residents because there's not one in the city that is on public ground that covers all veterans. The one down by City Hall is for those that were killed in action during 4 wars, I believe it is. World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. There is one for Vietnam veterans, I believe a bench that's down at the Riverfront Park somewhere. The one in front of the old Don Stewart was only for Ward 8 people in World War II. So we decided, to make it all inclusive since, it's up here, so yes.
Thank you.
Because you're not an exclusive bunch.
All right, thank you.
Sounds great, thank you.
Yeah, just a few things on behalf of the elementary. Just want to acknowledge a very positive start to the school year. As I said at the PTA meeting, this is actually my 15th opening day in this role. And I would honestly say it was probably the smoothest start to a school year. From parent drop, and there's always hiccups on the first day and a layer of expected chaos. But with that being said, from morning drop-off to just kids transitioning in, to afternoon pickup and transportation, in my opinion, it was definitely probably our best year in these 15 years. And I certainly want to thank faculty and staff, my office staff, Angela and Lynn, but certainly Heather and the drivers for making it so smooth. There's a mass quantity of changes that come in the first day of school, and to get things situated is quite the task. So a phenomenal start to the school year. We'll have our annual ice cream celebration this Friday for students that completed their summer reading. So I always like to acknowledge our local stewards, as well as Mrs. Klum for organizing it. Did put out some information, I think probably went out today, both electronically and with the students, about our open house, which is 1 week from today on the 25th. Trying to make some tweaks to our open house format based on some feedback from our staff as well as from parents. So essentially we'll be looking at maybe a little bit more informal evening. Traditionally we've been very formal with certain sessions, and you can go maybe visit a couple classrooms with teachers putting on presentations. Feedback was, we might get more families in the building if we sent out the information that's important, but the focus in the classrooms was more meet and greet, just conversing with families. It was felt that would get more families through the door, and then certainly like anything else, if you feed families, we're looking for the PTA to maybe have ice cream that evening. So pretty excited about the changes. I think the faculty is as well. Obviously, we don't know until we experience one of them. But really looking for families to be able to basically just be able to move from classroom to classroom and meet all the teachers that they need to. And again, just a little bit less formal. So we'll see how that goes. And then I know we're excited to put out some after-school programming again. So I do anticipate putting out some information about that. I know some of our programs have started, at least in terms of band and chorus, as well as our video broadcasting club. But we have other programs we're hoping to put out. So we'll put that out later this month. Really a very, very positive start to the school year. That's what I have.
Good to hear.
The open house idea sounds like a really good plan. Was there a good group involved in coming up with that?
There was a good group. So Marquis was part of our school improvement planning team. It really headed it up and was instrumental in some of these tweaks. No, but really, I will say, in all seriousness, I did also have all the teachers meet in teams. I kind of gave a little background as to why we were looking at it, but they all met, and then when I met with the team leaders, it was pretty much a consensus that they really liked some of the changes. I mean, not everyone's going to agree about anything, but they really liked it being a little more warm and welcoming, and parents being able to navigate through the classrooms, at their own pace, as opposed to it starts at 6 and session 1 ends at 6:25, and so on and so forth. And teachers also felt like we don't really need to make formal presentations. We can provide the information, and folks can ask the questions that they have them. So hopefully, like I said, it's a warm and welcoming environment. We can end the evening, with some ice cream with your family. And then additionally, I think for some families, a barrier is childcare. And it's very difficult logistically for us to provide childcare, but if you can bring your entire family, I think that'll help as well. So expecting a large crowd, to be honest with you, that night. Instrumental though.
I'm canceling practice for you, so.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
letting
it.
you
You
know.
can always do it after. Get the lights on.
Do they have to do extra laps if they don't attend open house instead?
I was thinking about that.
I think you should.
But I don't want to pad the stats, I don't want to pad the stats. I'm gonna do it.
All right, Dom?
All right, so first thing we have is yonder update. That's obviously the pouches that we put in place. We had a rollout last Monday for the pouches. Our big concern was coming into the building and leaving the building, right? Because we got to get, 400 to 500 kids in with the pouches, and then at the end of the day, we got to get them out of here and have the pouches unlocked and making sure they're getting on the bus and whatnot. So Mr. Martinelli, Mr. Adams, all our aides have done a great job getting kids in the building. Doesn't seem to hold them up too much. I'd say we're probably at the heavy end when we first open up at 7:30. It's a tiny bit of holdup, but after that, the kids flow in very good. We haven't had any issues with, other than the first day we told teachers to hold attendance. After that, no issues with getting kids in the building and into classrooms on time. So that was a positive. Especially worried about the end of the day, which surprisingly, we dismiss at 2:30. It's staggered a little bit. We get the sixth grade out about 3 or 4 minutes early, so they get them down on the buses. Seventh grade goes out like 2 minutes early, and then 8 through 12 all dismisses at 2:30. First day we kept the buses an extra 2 minutes, but we had everybody out of the building by 35. So I would say now when we're out there, there's no holdup at all for kids exiting the building. They're able to go up and kind of just tap and get out. Would you guys could probably speak more on the way out of the building. Have you noticed any?
I don't know, I leave early.
Okay. So you guys definitely don't see it.
Yeah.
We're helping ease the problem.
Yeah, just doing their part.
So we're dealing with a couple things. Obviously, everybody's got to have their phone in the pouch. We're dealing with some students trying to have an old second phone in the pouch. Some, not having a phone in the pouch, knowing that they didn't bring it or their parent took it away from them. So what we're dealing, we probably have, I would say, 20 or so kids that we've had to take phones from. So they go in the safe. The parent has to come in and get the phone. So we call a parent, tell them we're not giving it back. They have to come in and meet with us and get the phone themselves. And then we'll up consequences from there if it's not successful. But all in all, a week and a half in and looking pretty good. We do have 2 teachers here. I'm hopeful that they're going to say this, but we'll see. You guys can be honest. I think we have a lot less phones in the classroom, obviously, than we did last year. So good for learning, good for kids and for teachers. So kids might not agree that, they might not say it's good for them, but if they think about it, it is. So a good start with the yonder pouches.
Have you seen with those 20 or so parent pushback, or are they accepting?
Not really, little bit, and then I usually will say, listen, we didn't have them, when we grew up. Most of them agree with that. A lot of them saying, the ones who don't agree with it will usually say, listen, Mr. Pitt, I don't agree with it, but I understand why you're doing it.
Which is good, yeah.
Because when you talk with a parent, I know I have 2 kids, when they get on those electronics and then I try to take it away from them, they're not as happy as they usually are.
Did they get a similar presentation as we did for the yonder?
Yeah.
Same thing? Okay.
Yeah.
So then they saw the countless amount of hours and lives and years wasted.
Yeah, we actually invited them here for the presentation, but.
Perfect.
So along those lines, I would just say that I can't believe how little pushback there was. In the grand scheme of things, if we had thought about doing this 2 or 3 years ago, you'd have a divided 50-50 community. Having seen what phones, where the research is, what Congress is talking about, what the governor's talking about, how other schools have already implemented it and what the outcomes have been, the resistance for it has diminished severely. Do kids still want their phones in their hands? Yes, but very few serious arguments as to why that makes education better. And that one thing has gone far more smoothly. I expected more parents to be telling Mr. Pitt, I want to talk to your boss, this is not okay, and did a couple of chirps and they acquiesce.
I'm sure parents are sick of seeing their kids top the heads
Right.
too often too, so I think they understand.
It is a huge undertaking, monitoring it all or, enforcing it all. So that has taken along with, these are 2 things that we put together in our school improvement plan also, but we, obviously since vapes came out, they've been an issue, right? I remember back in the good old days when they had cigarettes, then they banned cigarettes everywhere, and then you didn't see anything in schools. There was no smoking, no anything for a good stretch of time. Vapes came out, we took a big hit, they legalized marijuana. we took a big hit. So what we've noticed is we have a decent amount of students that are addicted to vape, addicted to marijuana. So we have gone to vape detectors this year. The good thing is they work. The bad thing is they work. We've seen a huge, well, not really a huge increase because the discipline has been there, but what I would say is Bob and I are going around the building handling discipline all day long. Okay, so both of us working on it all the time. If we don't do that, we're not in a good spot to stay on top of things. So, like I said, it's good and it's bad. We can't have kids doing that and being in the classroom. So we have some more vape detectors coming in that will be in different areas. Right now we do have a couple in, and we're processing kids and trying to get them help and trying to, make it a lesson that they can learn and not be out for a tremendous amount of time.
It's a good year to have Teresa back full-time.
It's a good year to have Teresa back full-time, yeah, but it's definitely busy. It's busy. So.
Can you put the vapes in the yonder belt?
That'd be a good plan.
Just saying.
Pretty sure you could get them back out. I think they fit around the
Just
button.
saying. These kids gotta go back to the smoker's corner from back in the day. I mean, I never visited it, but.
All right, well,
So we're definitely, and what we're noticing is, we do have a decent amount that are marijuana vapes that we're finding too. So which is scary.
Where do you store those?
They just said,
In the safe.
Top
we'll get
secret.
them to
What's the
Officer
combo?
Rohr. Yeah,
For the yonders,
Yes.
how many magnets are there in
Yeah.
the school? Are they in each classroom? Or
Yeah, so right now we have 10. We put 6 out, 6 that mount to the wall, just where the kids are exiting. And then we have 5 handheld ones that will give to aides and administrators and stuff. So we only put 6 out with using the 5 handheld ones. We take the other 4 and then where we saw overflow, we were gonna put them. I don't know that I'll have to put the other 4 out, so.
Because I know you had said there was a delay in getting on the buses, so I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
it was just a lack of.
You know what it was, the first day, it was teaching them how to actually
Snap it shut.
open it up,
Yeah.
yes. Because what you have to do is you have to put it on there, press the button, let it open up. So kids would like put it on, press the button, pull it off, and it doesn't open, right? You have to leave it on there, so as soon as they got that, I mean, when we go at 2:30, it's no different than them exiting the building now. There's 4, 2 mounted and 2 held in the most hectic area. But I can see the other area, kids just flow through, there's never really a backed up line or anything. So it's been pretty smooth.
all right, thanks, Tom. Our first PBS report.
Hi, everybody. Danielle Rensselaer. This is my first official board report. So I do have a couple things, but first of all, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone. I'm talking staff, students, families, community members. Everyone's been very welcoming and very patient with me as I've navigating this big job. It's exciting work. And yeah, it's been nice to be immersed into a school community like this. So hearing from the Alumni Association, I just came from the PTA meeting. You can tell that it's just community school and it feels really nice. So I'm excited to be a part of that. I gotta thank my administrative team as well. They're pulling me into some things, helping me learn meet some students and families and things like that. So looking forward to a good year. Just for the start of the year, I think what everyone else is saying, it's been pretty great. I think really just we're always trying to focus on some of our processes, right, and making sure that we're servicing students as best we can. You know, for me, coming into this role, it's mostly like that first month, really getting to know our systems, who the players are, and if there needs to be any adjustments or if there's efficiencies that may come along. I know PPS is just a broad umbrella for servicing and supporting our students. And I think we all know that the need across the board is great for, you know, academics, behaviors, mental health, all of those things. Just making sure that we're reaching those students that are at risk and really helping them through things. And I can tell you that that team upstairs is wonderful, very knowledgeable and very dedicated. And special education teachers too, that I have been, I'm trying to make myself available as much as I can to problem solve through some things, and they've been wonderful to work with as well. So I don't even want to touch on, I know I'm a part of Project Aware, but there was a huge presentation last month, and I know Jen speaks very well. We're going tomorrow actually to State Ed to present again, or to present on that project. So everything on that end is going very well. And I think it's just expanding and growing. I think for goals, you know, for this year is really, for special education at least, is what do our models of service look like, and how can we, what does that look like in the classroom for for our teachers? We have a direct consultant teacher model, our resource room, and then our self-contained. And really how we're using those programs and those folks in those programs to, you know, really build the skills of our special education population. So that's what I have so far. Like I said, I think it's going to be, I'm very excited for the work. And then we're done. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
I'm really trying to get, I know like the third floor is like the third floor. I want to bring us
Glad you
down,
got that
so we're
straight.
around, you know what I mean? Like we're not just this one like area that, I don't want us to seem isolated, so I want to make sure that we get out and about. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Stuck's not here, but Ms. Cavell is.
Yeah, so I am Caitlin Quackenbush. I am presenting for.
Just
Yeah, just got
recently.
married, so.
Wait, but you didn't tell
I
me.
know.
That's okay, I'm sorry, I called you the wrong name.
Throws a lot of people off. So for RTA, we're just presenting some of the events that have been going on in the building between elementary, middle, and high school. So in the elementary school, Hannah Gillis reported that the fourth grade classes are working on a special project where they are collecting photographs from across New York State from different sites and places, and the classes are working together to make a New York State poster. Part of this includes asking the community to send any digital images from past visits, current visits, to expand their New York State poster, and she provides her contact information there. And then in the middle school and high school, we have Jolene Drescher. She's been working closely with the two schools for pushing in for her restorative practices. She has done work with talking circles in the geometry high school math courses, talking about math anxiety, and trying to make it a more comfortable transition since a lot of students had stresses from previous years. She is pushing into different classes and grade levels weekly and looking to continue doing that, fostering a community between the teachers and the students. And then Beth Ann Tamburino was actually the geometry teacher that she pushed into, and she just reviewed essentially what Jolene was explaining, that it's been a nice experience for the students and for the staff to have these restorative practices, especially the circles, talking to each other, having fun, getting to know each other. And she's looking forward to using Miss Lull throughout the year.
Oh, would you like us to put a note out on the alumni Facebook page for photos and have them emailed to?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because we helped with the Valentine's thing last year too, so.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd love that.
So, yep, we'll do that.
Thank you.
It's H. Gillis, Gillis, at RCSD.
Were the fourth graders supposed to tell their parents about that?
Monty didn't.
Mine didn't. Mr. Palmer, I'm gonna need you to talk to Armani. I need you to talk to
Take
Armani.
responsibility for that.
He tells us nothing about projects.
You, just wasn't the night before yet.
Literally just found out about the project today.
I know they're getting a lot of pictures, because I even sent a couple over there,
Not for
so.
that household.
Not for Armani, anything at school today? No. Great.
All right, thank you.
Wait till I see him tonight.
Joe?
Oh my God. Relax. Get it together.
I just want to go back and revisit, the project is a big deal. It is necessary for the safety of the school and to preserve the investment in this building. You have to keep your envelope on a building up to date, otherwise everything else inside will fail. I would say we are not being frivolous about the types of things we put in the project. But I also anticipate some resistance because there's a perception in the community that this is a new building and why might we have to invest that much? But the reality is by the time there's actually work being done, it's a 20-year-old building, that's when you work on things like that. So I just wanted to say the timing is really important. The project vote on December 10th will be really important. As more information comes, please feel free to ask questions. And Megan's been working on this for years, but it's kind of has been mostly off the radar other than December's presentation. And this is not something we've seen here in a while, right? This is gonna be a big deal. So we're looking for support from the community. We're looking for support from the Alumni Association to make sure that we can help get the information out and help people understand that it's not some crazy way to raise taxes. It's not some crazy waste of money. It is protecting the investment of the building that was put here, what will be 20 years ago by the time ground is broken. And other than that, just wanted to echo what Jeff said. It's been a positive opening, and I hope that we get past this hump with the phones and the vapes and things settle down, because right now those guys are rocking every day. So I'm hoping we settle in.
You're looking very svelte because of it.
I don't know about that. I visit Jay's office too much now.
Just like Shaq. That's all I have.
Shack?
Bags of chips, chocolate, y'all there,
I don't
yeah.
think there's any snacks in there.
If you guys have any questions on the red things that were added, I can describe those. Otherwise, I don't believe there's anything super crazy that would need anything further. I'm happy to answer questions
At
before
the
you
risk
move
of
in.
outstaying my welcome, I want to piggyback on what you said. I think it's important that we all understand, and I've asked this question. I'm the type that would say, well, we're doing it, let's do this and that and the other thing. And I think it's important that we've disciplined it to what the building really needs. And the taxpayers need to understand that. I equated a conversation I had with Megan, I guess it was last week we did that, any of us with our own home would say if the roof is leaking, we gotta fix it. I just did that today, as a matter of fact. But on the walls or the windows, you do what it takes to protect the investment. And this is a major investment for the school district. And not to be forgotten is we've got kids in here who need to be safe. And if we got water going down behind walls and through joists and stuff, at some point that starts to create mold and mildew and things, and that's not healthy for kids. We're not there yet, it seems, but you don't want to get there. So I think it's important to me, that's a selling point to people who don't want to see more costs, is that this is a major investment and we have to protect it for the school district and for the kids. That's what we're here for.
And to credit Megan with the planning of it, for not really affecting the taxes is also, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When you plan ahead, you're able to work it in that way, and that's no changes, it's a big deal, especially with things we've seen here.
Yes.
So.
I started to allude that I would answer questions, but I was kind of skipping over.
You did, but I was gonna let you finish what you were doing first. Oh, okay. Invitation for visitors to address the board. Are we supposed to ask them to announce their names like we normally do?
Yeah, I like it. Make them talk.
Yep, you have to, we always just ask that you state your name and tell us one thing you liked about the meeting. We know it's for government class.
Let Olivia go first. No,
Oh,
you go first.
rock, paper, scissors.
Well, y'all did, just say
Okay,
we
so
are.
I'm Jen Oliver.
Hey.
Hi, Jen.
So I came today because I am tired of seeing things on Facebook with no actual factuality behind it.
Oh,
So my goal is to come in to educate myself so that I can encourage people to then do the same thing.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, we love that.
Misconceptions run wild out there.
Yeah, and no matter how much we try to say, no, that's not it,
I know, they don't listen.
Can you
If,
actually
we
just post what
encourage
you said on
everybody.
Facebook?
Yeah, encourage everybody to contact, biggest thing, if they have a problem, contact the appropriate people at the school, not the Facebook schooling. Contact the district to help solve any problems they may have.
Jen loves that.
I do.
All right, next. Here we go. We all have to go. Take a turn, ladies.
Let's just go in alphabetical order.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm Brianna Fitzgerald, and I enjoy listening to all of you lovely people talk about how dedicated you are to the school, because it makes me happy that we have like great role models that really do care about this school. As much as like the principals and the teachers get on us, like it makes me happy that like we have good people that are watching after us.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice.
Very nice.
I don't know.
Now you got
She got a top.
You should not have let her go first.
Yeah.
That's a miss.
I'm gonna put you in my little speech.
My name's Vanessa, and kind of same with Brianna, like I just enjoyed seeing how much you all like care.
Okay.
All right. Hey, I'm Olivia Hanks, and I like listening to all of you, and it's finally nice to hear put faces on words that I hear her talk about all the time at home, all these things that I don't know about, and now I get to hear about it in person and put names to faces.
Nice. Nice job, ladies.
Thanks.
Oh, we're not done yet, though.
Now you get to say you spoke here too, when you go back to class. I didn't just go, I spoke.
No, we have to do this. Okay,
I have
so.
one quick, I'm sorry, I have one quick.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to let them go first.
James,
So the school spirit store is officially functioning. We'll be at both open houses, the VR and the high school, junior, senior high school. We're gonna be sending out these forms hopefully in the upcoming week. This is specifically the high school form, but there's gonna be a special VR form for next week for the open house with kids' sizes on it. Forgot about, I'm not used to small sizes, so I forgot kids have sizes. So, that's coming. I'm not used to kid sizes, it's not a thing I do. So that'll be coming out next week, and right now we have a really cool, it's a rolling book cart that we have, and it's going out to all the games, the sporting events. And I left last meeting and realized I didn't have your email to contact you. I was like, I'm gonna contact you, and left and never got your email. So we'll exchange before the meeting. But I have these for you guys too, or anyone else that's interested in them before they get sent out. Just copies of everything we have. Shirts, hoodies, baseball hats, beanies, tumblers, ornaments, towels, magnets, stickers, and pretty soon they have those plushy blanket things are coming. Yeah, it's coming. There's probably a whole other page of stuff that's being added throughout the year.
I think the Alumni Association wants to put it on their Facebook page.
I shall share that with you for the Facebook page.
I want to put it on my Facebook page.
But yeah, right, something fun. So that's all coming out next week. Just an update on that. That's all.
And thank you for all you always do, because you do. You always do.
I'm looking forward to this store. I'm all about it.
Down here so people can grab them
Oh, yeah,
on their way
also,
out.
thank
Everybody
you.
can take one.
Okay. Anybody else?
Mr.
Yes,
Pitt,
I love this.
So I'm Liz Rooney, treasurer of the Alumni Association, class of '89. And Megan, for you, I really hope this proposal goes smooth without any bumps.
Thank you.
Unlike our sign catastrophe. So I pray to God everyone in this room is listening, that our gift for the veterans goes just as smooth.
No issues there.
Yeah, you'll definitely have a yes from me on that.
Yeah.
We're just thankful for that.
As an
No
alumni
issues.
of it.
Thank you.
All right, well, this was fun.
Will there be like a ceremony for the, like?
I was thinking yes, yeah. Get some of the veterans in the city, veterans, yeah.
You want me to make cookies? That's what I do.
Yes.
Red, white, and blue, leave the cookies.
We can turn the oven back on, y'all.
We're together.
Because they're coming back
We're together.
in. I made how many cookies last week? They were delicious.
Probably by Monday, I mean, I don't know.
So if you want, you can
Okay.
move the remainder of the agenda.
I know Mr. Pitt's excited for the kid sizes to come in. He wears a
Yeah.
medium.
That's what I thought.
You screwed
I'm just trying to coach you.
Okay, so if nobody has anything else, we can move the remainder of the agenda. Peter is motioning, Marky is seconding.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
And then I just had a quick question. We had had some email exchanges.
correct.
Does anyone have a necessity for a conversation in executive session based on any of those?
Could we move that to agendas also here? I had
We
something
can, I
to say.
just didn't want to just
Correct.
glaze over and have anybody feel
Right.
left out.
No, let's
So if
move that,
not,
because
we
I did
can-
have something else to add when we were there.
Okay,
To go.
we can motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Marky gave me the thumbs uppy,
We're
and
swapping.
I'll give you 2 thumbs if you need
Peter
them.
seconded it. 2 thumbs up, favor?
The crowd.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Now we're adjourned.
Good luck in your government class.
Yeah.